ready to take your mobile gaming to the next level. In 2025, you don't need to shell out $60,000 for blazing fast performance, high refresh rate displays, and pro-level cooling. For under $35,000, you can now get phones that crush flagship specs, run games like BGMI, Genshin Impact, and COD Mobile at ultra settings, and still leave enough power for everything else. In this guide, we're counting down the best gaming smartphones under $35,000, hand-picked for their frame stability, touch response, thermal management, and battery backup.
First up, the iQOO Neo9 Pro 5G, launched on February 22, 2024. This phone is pure performance. You get a stunning 6.78-inch LTPO AMOLED display with 1.5K resolution, a buttery smooth 144Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of 3000 nits. Perfect for gaming, streaming, or scrolling under the sun. Under the hood is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset with an AnTuTu score over 1.6 million. It's paired with up to 12 GB of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 GB of UFS 4.0 storage. Cameras, you're covered. A 50-megapixel Sony IMX920 main sensor with OIS, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 16-megapixel selfie cam, even 8K video support. And when it's time to recharge, the 51.6 mAh battery powers up to 50% in just 11 minutes with 120-watt fast charging. With 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security patches, this mid-range monster is ready for the long run. Next, the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE 5G. Launched on September 26, 2024, this fan edition delivers flagship vibes at a friendlier price. The 6.7-inch Full HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2X display brings sharpness, clarity, and smooth visuals with a 120Hz refresh rate and 1900 nits brightness. Powering the phone is the Exynos 2400E chipset with up to 8 GB of RAM and up to 512 GB of storage. You also get a versatile triple camera setup, 50-megapixel main sensor with OIS, 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and an 8-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. Selfies, handled by a sharp 10-megapixel front camera. Durability is top tier too, Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on both sides, and full IP68 water and dust resistance. The 4700 mAh battery supports 25-watt fast charging, 15-watt wireless charging, and retains top health for years. Running on One UI 6.1 with Android 14 and packed with Galaxy AI features like Live Translate and Circle to Search, this phone comes with an unmatched 7 years of software and security updates. Now, meet the Realme GT7T5G, launched in May 2025. This is Realme's ultimate speed machine. It features a 6.8-inch LTPS AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate, 1.5K resolution, and an insane 6000 nits peak brightness, the brightest on the list. At its core is the MediaTek Dimensity 8400 Max chipset, paired with up to 12 GB of RAM and a massive 512 GB of UFS 4.0 storage. There's even a 7700 square millimeter vapor cooling chamber for cool, lag-free gaming. The camera setup includes a 50-megapixel Sony IMX896 with OIS, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 32-megapixel selfie camera. You also get 4K recording and stunning low-light shots. With a massive 7000 mAh battery and 120-watt charging, it goes from 0 to full in under 30 minutes and lasts up to 2 days. Android 15 with Realme UI 6.0 plus 3 years of OS updates makes this a flagship killer with serious staying power.
Up next, the Motorola Edge 60 Pro 5G. Launched in April 2025, this phone blends power, elegance, and AI smarts. The 6.7-inch quad-curved POLD display offers a silky smooth 120Hz refresh rate, 1.5K resolution, and a peak brightness of 4500 nits, all protected by Gorilla Glass 7i. Inside is the Dimensity 8350 Extreme chipset, backed by up to 12 GB of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 GB of UFS 4.0 storage, scoring over 1.5 million on AnTuTu. A massive vapor chamber keeps things cool while gaming. The rear camera system includes a 50-megapixel Sony LYT700C with OIS, another 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom, plus 50x super zoom. Front, a stunning 50-megapixel selfie cam. You also get an IP68 and IP69 rating, military-grade durability, and a 6000 mAh battery with 90-watt charging, 15-watt wireless, and 5-watt reverse charging. Running on Android 15 with Hello UI and packed with Moto AI tools, it's future-proof with 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security patches.
Fifth, the iQOO Neo9 5G. Launched in May 2025, this phone is the first in India with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 chipset. And it's a game changer. You get a gorgeous 6.78-inch 1.5K TCL C9 Plus AMOLED display with a 144Hz refresh rate and 5500 nits peak brightness. Protected by shot diamond shield glass, it's as tough as it is beautiful. It's got up to 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage, backed by the Q1 supercomputing chip and a 70 square centimeter vapor cooling system. Camera? A 50-megapixel Sony IMX882 with OIS, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 32-megapixel front camera with 4K video support. The massive 7,000 mAh battery and 120-watt fast charging deliver 2 days of power and insane charge speeds. Android 15 with FunTouch OS 15, AI enhancements, and long-term updates make this a top-tier gaming powerhouse at a killer price.
And finally, the Realme GT7T5G. Yes, we're mentioning it again because this phone stands out in every category: speed, display, battery life, and long-term value. With up to 12 gigs of RAM, a 6000 nit display, and a massive battery with fast charging, it's truly in a class of its own. So if you're looking for a phone with crazy fast performance, top-tier displays, excellent battery health retention, and years of software updates, these 6 are your best bet in 2025. Let me know which one caught your eye. And don't forget to follow for more smart tech guides.